Hello viewers, today I will try to demystify the concept of programming. Let's take it as a subject that many people think that it is very, 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 very difficult. But today I'm gonna demystify that concept called programming. As someone who has, who has gone through a 4-year computing science degree, I will give you a short story about myself. I started with HNC in computing, HNC in software development, when I did not know anything about programming. I started with college. It was very, 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 very difficult for me. Listen, if you are there listening to me, just be sure that at the end of this video, I'm telling you, you're gonna, change your perception in relation to programming. It was difficult for me. So as any other thing, once you start something for the first time, it's not going to be that easy for you. So I started with college, where I did my HNC in software development. It was really, really difficult for me as someone who has not, who has no idea about something, called programming. I went into it because I was into something called what's it called again? Get Paid To. It's just a survey platform whereby people complete surveys and they get paid. So I was into that thing, and being that I saw potential in that business, I was like, how do I do this? Because is about creating a website that handles all those processes. So I was like, oh no, it would be fine. It would be, fine for me to go into this in order to learn how to create a website and, run such a business. That was the first thing that, drove me into studying software development. So it was, for me, a good journey actually, because I wanted to achieve something, but I found it difficult. That at a point I decided, like, in the midst of these difficulties, many thoughts were, coming to me. I wanted to quit my HNC studies. I wanted to quit because even in programming, there's what we call concatenation, using plus symbol to join two strings together. For example, it was very difficult for me to understand this. Everything was like, I don't know. Everything was strange to me. I didn't know what was going on. All through my HNC studies, I was struggling. I didn't know what was going on. Common data type, like, let's say, if you want to create an array of integers, like using int, for example, as a data type, int, then the variable name, all those things were I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. Something was pushing me. Don't quit. Don't quit. I was like, I'm gonna quit, man. This is difficult for me. I struggled all through my HNC degree. Then, at the end of it, I was able to, admitted into a university here where I live. Still, the same thing was still going on. I was not able to understand this concept. This, how to code was very, very, very difficult for me. Along the line, I went, there was a course where there was a module then called data structures and algorithms. No. No, it was really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. So if you are there listening to me, believe me, let me tell you how I changed my way and how I changed that view of, or that concept that people usually say that it's very, very difficult to learn. Coding is difficult, for example. So what I did was this. I discovered that nothing is difficult. That is what I discovered. Nothing is difficult. Who actually created these programming languages? Was it not a human being like me and you? Was it? So come to think about it, in the beginning of everything, you are trying to venture for the first time, you will not find it that easy. But at the end of it, believe me, you will be an expert. So let me explain to you what you should do in order to, become, let's say, to have that confidence to say, I can now program. Programming, people say, is difficult. I understand. As someone who is going into that for the first time, you will find it difficult. But don't be afraid. Listen to me. I have that experience and I will teach you. Don't be afraid. Never you be afraid. That, as someone who is going into it for the first time, that difficulties will be there. In the first, in your first movement, it will be there. But it will never be there forever. So when you venture into programming and find it difficult, don't be afraid. You have to pass stages. That is one of the stages that you must pass through. Is one of the stages that you must pass through. So don't be afraid. It's like a toll gate that, where you have different toll gates in order to reach where you are going. You must pass through, different toll gates in order to arrive to your destination. So my encouragement to you listening to me, who, is trying to venture into programming, learn from my experience. I went into it for the first time when I did not know anything about programming. It was difficult for me. All through my HNC studies, I was contemplating quitting that studies. The urge was huge that I couldn't help myself, but by the grace of God, there was that, encouragement that kept pushing me. You can do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you out there listening to me can do it. I have no background in science studies or science subjects, to say. But now we have come to that point when, believe me, after listening to this, you will not regret going into this programming line of a thing. So the first thing is what you should know is time. As you can see from my page here, time. What is time? I can, in my own understanding, I can let you know that time is a talent. Time is a talent. And that you should invest your time properly. That you should do what? Invest your time properly. If you really want to learn how to program. you must map out that time for it. Believe me, like what the English people says, practice makes perfect. Time. Let it be 2 hours as a beginner. You can start from 1 hour per day or 2 hours per day. Be consistent. Go into a regimented approach of studies, or regimented approach of study. I mean to say that you must maintain that time. Time. If you don't study, you will never know. So for you to be good at programming, you have to map out time daily, 1 to 2 hours daily. Be consistent. Be consistent. Believe me, you will know how to program. It's not difficult. I'm talking based on my experience. You can see, previously I was struggling, but now I can code. Because of what? Because I give it my time. Even at this stage, I keep on programming. The more you program, the more you learn, the more you study, the more you know it. You will know it. It's not that difficult. You have to pass through that first stage of, okay, saying it is difficult for me. So don't be afraid. When that thought comes, or when that stage comes, don't give up. That is my advice. Never you give up. If you give up, you're going to regret it. Believe me. Programming is difficult at the beginning. But that beginning part of it is what it is the stage that you will pass through. You will pass through. Let not that stage discourage you. You must surely pass through that stage. Let it not discourage you. But time is what is very, very important. Come to think of Elon Musk and other famous people. When you listen to them, they will tell you that that before they came to where they are today, they studied many hours daily. So how many hours, or how much time are you devoting to your programming journey? How much time are you devoting to that? Programming, in my own understanding, is not difficult. It is not difficult. The difficulty people attach to programming is the very first stage that you must pass through. Then after that, then the learning process will help you out. You will become an expert. Just look at it. If you are trying to go into programming for the first time, just look at, there are many videos out there on YouTube, many materials out there on the net. Who created those materials? Who created those videos? Are they not human beings like you? Are they not human beings like you? I could remember a professor from a country called Nigeria. This professor, he was actually, he was not doing that well in his studies when he was in high school. He was not doing that well. Even he nearly failed his mathematics subject. But do you know what happened? Do you know how he turned everything around? Somebody that was like at the end of a session, for example, or a term, at the end of a term, he will come out almost the last in the class. But how did he turn it up? How did he turn it around? Through the help of his father. The father was the person that was like, okay, since I can see that you're not doing that well. Now you will be solving 100 mathematical problems daily. That was the start of his success. Time. You must map out time. You must study it. Even when you find it difficult, keep on doing it. Okay, let me give you an example. When I was learning how to program to solve a data structure issue with Q and Stack. It was like I don't know. Q was like, it was very difficult for me. It was very difficult. But when I go through that, there was a video I learned how to do that. After watching it for the first time, it was difficult. What I did was I rewatched that again. I did that multiple times, trying to understand that concept multiple times. But now, to program, like to solve a data structure issue with Q is as simple as ABC. Can you see where I'm coming from? So don't be afraid to go into programming. It is not difficult. That is what I can say. The difficulty part of it is the first stage you must pass through. Once that stage is over, then the learning process will be smooth for you. But you must study, you must practice, you must study, you must practice. So if you are a student out there, listening, or if you are someone who would like to venture into, let's say, programming, following the path of self-taught, listen to me. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. It is not difficult. The difficulty part of it is the first stage you must pass through. Once you reach that stage, keep on moving. A lot of discouraging words will come. Don't listen to those words. Don't listen to those thoughts. Just keep on moving. Say to yourself, I can do it. If many people out there posting how to code videos on YouTube can do it, I can do it. They don't have two heads. It is practice that makes perfect. You must give it your time. You must give it your time. Many things I don't know about programming, starting from my HNC studies, I know them now. Many things that were difficult for me, I know them now. Had it been I stopped, what would have been my fate? I'm not going to be here telling you how to do it, because it is me. It is, I have gone through these stages. That is why I'm that confident to let you know that you can do it. So programming for me is not difficult. Somebody created these programming languages. They don't have two heads. They put in their time. They were busy. When some other people were busy, misusing their time, they put in their time. Constantly studying. So for me, I think there are many things we spend our time on that are not necessary. If you want to enjoy this life, first, put in your time in learning a skill. Then after you must have gotten the skills, you can sit back and enjoy. Do not be discouraged by many things moving out there in the world. If you really, really want to learn how to program, the first thing you must do is to put in your time. Put in your time. You will be there. You will succeed. Can I ever know how to code? Yes. Yes is the answer. Yes, you are hearing it from someone who has gone through that thought. You can. You can. So in my subsequent videos, I will, explain to you how to, as a student, for example, how you can get first class from your computing studies. Everything is easy. That is what I go with. Everything is easy with God. With God, everything is easy. God is the author and the finisher of our faith. So do not be discouraged. Do not lose hope. You can do it. You can do it. You can program. your time is needed. Your time is needed. Invest it properly. Be regimented in your approach when it comes to programming. Be regimented. Have a consistent approach that, okay, today I'm gonna study for 1 hour. Shut everything down, your telephone, everything around you. Be concentrated. Take it to that 1 hour, but take break in between. Let's say after 20 minutes, just few break, maybe 2 minutes break. Just do it that way. Programming is sweet. There's one good thing I like about programming. When you are doing it, you see the effect of what you are doing. It is sweet. You see the effect. So, in my subsequent videos, I will, go more into this, and many other things I will like to let you know. So, my last word is that time is a talent. That is what I would like you to know. Time is a talent. Invest your time properly. Programming is not difficult.